started, Jennifer?
Well, that's a big one for publishers. I was actually on the editorial staff at Charisma, and Charisma House Publishing rejected 3 of my books. And I was one of their editors, and I was shocked. They say, well, your platform's not big enough. And so I've learned that, first of all, they came back later and said, well, we missed it. We should have published you because Chosen picked up all those books. But you've got to start somewhere. The first thing you need to do is start a blog. You need to get visible. You start sharing it on Facebook. You start getting on Facebook Live, doing videos. So social media is one of the key tools in book marketing today, but also newsletter lists. I've got 45,000, might not sound like a lot to you. Most people, even in ministry, who have churches have maybe 10 or 15, 20,000. So I, very long time ago, took some internet marketing courses and learned how to capture emails, people who wanted to be connected with me, people who wanted to hear what I had to say, and to build that affinity with them. So start a blog, have an email capture list on that blog, begin to share your articles, snippets on Facebook, do Facebook Live videos, have a Twitter account, be active, and then find what social media works best for you. Some people are Instagram masters. I have an Instagram account, wouldn't consider myself an Instagram master, but Facebook, I mastered that. I started and I found my niche and I tapped into it. I offered content that blessed them, that touched their felt need. I built an audience around my voice. So my email list and my Facebook page, these are not just anybody. Anybody can raise up a large number of people, but are they people that want to hear what you have to say? 10,000 people who want to hear what you have to say is better than 40,000 random people who may or may not want to hear what you have to say. So social media, but see, there's a strategy, there's a deep strategy, there's tactics. Social media, everything's changing all the time. Facebook, Google, all these big brands, they're changing their, what they call algorithms, the way things appear. And, right now, for example, Facebook groups are the hot thing. It used to be Facebook pages. Facebook pages are still good, especially for Facebook Lives. But, the Facebook groups are the hot thing. Now, thank God I've got one group with like 15,000 in it. And I've got another couple groups with some smaller numbers. And in a group, 15,000 is a big number. You don't have to talk about 400,000 in groups. 15,000 is big. And so understanding, keeping up with social media, having that baseline. But I would say to any person, start your platform by creating a blog, publishing frequently, putting it on Facebook, sharing the links, building your audience. And that again, that's the baseline. Now, my marketing expert, Woodley, he will go way deeper than that. I think I've got a good handle on it, but for the handle I have on it, he's got the handle that pulls open the door to let you walk through it. He is a genius.
Well, thank you. I like how your teaching or what you're sharing is so practical, Jennifer. Practical things. And you're going to be going into more depth, with each of those sessions. And we'll share a link at some point, or and by the way, you can be chatting in the chat window. If you go to the bottom of your Zoom window, there's a chat area. And so you can be chatting in there. Rachel, I think, is keeping track of it. I don't know if Melody's keeping track of it, but Rachel, make Melody be a co-host too, so she can go ahead and chat, or give her, I don't know if you can make her be a co-host or if I have to make her be a co-host, but yeah, this is a different format. This is not how we normally, so let me just see. So I'll make Melody be a co-host too. So Melody, just keep track of the chat. You can interact with the people. So Melody's on here as a guest attendee like everyone else. We're going to unmute some of you that are on video in a little bit, and that you ask your questions. And then we're also going to take some other questions that were submitted ahead of time. So Jennifer, you're also going to be talking about what kinds of books do Christian publishers really want. So you were talking about come up with a book or title, and so how do people balance that? What kind of books do Christian publishers really want versus what people feel called to write?
Wow. You that is the $1 million question, because publishers, you have to understand, publishers are in it to make money. They're for-profit businesses. There's nothing wrong with that. I've had books that I needed to publish on my own because I knew that the Lord told me to do it. I'll give you one really powerful story. And this is why. And in this course, you'll learn how to market yourself. That way, if you don't have a publisher, that does not kick you out of the game. I had a book called called Doubtless Faith That Overcomes the World. It was all about a revelation I had about 13 steps to overcome what I call doubtaholism. And everybody said, don't you dare write another book on faith, sister. Don't you know Brother Hagin wrote everything there is to write about faith. You're wasting your time. But the Lord said, write the book. So I wrote it, and I sold 3 copies. It sat on a shelf. I self-published it. Well, guess what happened? Sid Roth got a hold of the book, and he had me on his show. He bought 30,000 copies, and that book was one of the most profitable books I've ever had. Not only that, it went around the world. Not only that, guess what? It built my media platform to another level. So we have to understand that, just because it doesn't look like a success in the natural, sometimes there's a waiting, there's a Kairos moment where that book is just going to pop. If the Lord has said to write it, yes, try to get a publisher. That's most of the time, that's the best way. If you're just getting started, land a deal. If you cannot, self-publish it, but learn how to market. You're going to have to put some dollars and some sweat equity behind your passion. And part of that is schooling your gift, which is what we're talking about now. And then part of it is taking that next level, planning, strategizing. When I was first learning, I hired internet consultants, marketing consultants that taught me how to do these things. And I was in the media world, so I understood how the media world worked. So, those are some quick tips there. I tell you, don't be discouraged. If God's told you to write it, write it. He will use it. He will use it.
Hey, Jennifer LeClaire back here with you. I'm a best-selling author. You could be too. I want to teach you the secrets that nobody taught me. I learned so many things, not just about how to write, but about how to market my book, how to title it the right way, how to get the attention of publishers. I self-published 6 books before I ever got a book deal. I was so frustrated. I wanted to break in so bad, not for the money, because if you're in it for the money, clearly you're in it for the wrong reasons. You've got to be in it for the message, to bless people. And I knew that God had put a word in my mouth, but I couldn't get a mainline publisher to even give me a look until one day I did. I want to teach you, and I've got others joining forces with me to teach you how to become. What are the secrets? What are the processes? What do you need to know to become a best-selling Christian author? With me in this intensive is Larry Sparks, a very close friend of mine who just happens to be the publisher of Destiny Image. I myself have a publishing company called Awakening Media. I can help you as well with all aspects, but also in this intensive is Woodley August. He was the former executive vice president of marketing at Charisma House. He's gone out on his own now. He is brilliant. As a matter of fact, the Mornings with the Holy Spirit prayer broadcast that we've been doing now for years and years and years and years and years that reach the ends of the earth, it was his idea. He's going to share with you some of the marketing secrets of how to get the word out about your book. Listen, no matter what publisher you go with, they're only going to do so much to market your book. You're going to have to grab hold if you want to be a best-selling author. I've written now, I've lost count of, I don't mean that in a boastful way, but I've lost count of how many best-selling books I've had. My books hit Amazon #1 within the first day, always. I wrote a book in 24 hours. It became a bestseller immediately. Listen, there are, I don't want to say tricks, but there are secrets. There are methods. There are ways. You've got to learn how to write well, of course. That's why we have the Writer's Bootcamp, which is a separate course. But in this course, it was a long, intensive measure of bringing out truths and secrets and tips and methodologies from 3 of the top people in the Christian book publishing industry. I want you to take this course. I want to see you have success. I don't want to keep all my secrets to myself. I want to see an army of Christian writers rise up in the magazine world, in the book publishing world, in the podcasting world. I want you to get involved in this, and I want to see you have the same success that I've had. Check out this intensive Marketing and Publishing Secrets of Best-Selling Authors. You'll be glad you did.